Hi, you're watching Canadian Fungi's Adventures. We forage across Western Canada for the most gourmet mushrooms on the planet. Matsutake, morels, golden chanterelles, and many more. Look at these, eh? Aren't they huge?
Wow, look at these morels, man. Wow, got her.
On today's episode, we are traveling to southern British Columbia, foraging for the legendary morel mushroom. Hope you enjoy our adventure. This little patch is a nice one, but you can see the mountain needs some growth. These are some nice conicas. Conicas are the natural morels. You often find these outside of fire areas. These ones are still pretty small, so we'll give them a little bit of time. Check back on them in a couple days. We had a great time today climbing these mountains looking for morels, but we're going to go check a different spot.
That's a grizzly bear.
It's amazing how devastating these fires can be. This is a prime example of a very hard, fast-burning fire. Very devastating for wildlife. There was evacuation notice for Whitebrist region during this fire last September. We hiked for miles across this fire. Didn't find one morel. It was so devastating of a fire, there was not much left as far as ground. Time to head back to camp and chef up a beautiful meal. Today on Canadian Fungi, we're going to cook some morel omelets, starting with fresh morels, fresh green onions, fresh farmed eggs, some red onion, black pepper, salt, white wine, a little bit of cream, and some cheddar cheese. Hope you enjoy. Bon appetit. First, we're going to start with some butter. Melt some butter. Onions. Morels. Saute. Pinch of salt. Pinch of pepper. Give it a stir. What you're going to want to do is toast these down and get some flavor. Brown that onion. Saute these down until they get a bit of color on the bottom of the pan, and then we'll deglaze with just a little splash of white wine and cream. A little windy today, so it's not putting out as much heat as I like, so we'll crank that and give it a minute. We sauteed these for about 15 minutes. They're looking great. I wish you could smell them. They're starting to brown up a little bit. Onion's starting to become translucent. The morel is a very simple mushroom to cook. The simpler the better recipe, I find. They kind of stand out as the centerpiece of the dish. Now to deglaze the pan, I'm going to put a ½ ounce of white wine in here. Mix that around. That'll give it a nice, strong, rich flavor. Let that cook off. As soon as that's done, we'll add a little bit of cream. Smells so good, I think the ravens are calling each other. Now that that is cooked down, I'll just add about a teaspoon or so of cream. You hear that sizzle and you know it's cooked off pretty good. Just a drop or two, and we'll let that thicken up to a nice sauce, and we'll put it off on the side and start our omelet. Put that lid on for a second, give it a second. Now that our morels are pretty well done, nice bit of cream in there. Put those off to the side for a second, and we'll start our omelet. We don't want to leave those for too long because we don't want them to cool down. A little bit of oil. Put a little bit of salt and pepper in our eggs. Beautiful fresh farmed eggs. You don't get nicer than that. We get our eggs from Homestead Farms just south of Calgary. Crank that heat. It's always a balancing act using one of these stoves, but they're very handy. They collapse up into a little bag and they can go in your backpack anywhere you like. Omelet is looking pretty good. See if we can do a flip here without wrecking it. Always more pressure when you're doing this on video. It's okay, we handle the pressure good. That's why we mushroom pick. I'm sure I'm gonna get some complaints on my technique here, but as long as I don't slap anybody in the face, I think it probably will look good. Might be scrambled eggs by the time I'm done. Do the double flip. Some beautiful morels. If you could smell this right now, you'd be crawling through the camera. We'll save a little bit for the top. That little unruly guy in there. And then we're gonna close her up, make her look good. Look at that. Look at lumberjack omelet. So full, everything's falling out. Couple green onions. We'll garnish it with the rest of the cream sauce.